welcome to This Is Your Hips Yoga. So I'm super excited starting in a chair because that's kind of what bothers your hips is sitting in a chair a lot. So the first thing is something you can do even when you're on a phone call or on a meeting, maybe even a Zoom meeting if nobody can see your legs, is you can just bring one ankle up to your knee and sit like this. So when you do that, you want to sit up tall, engage the core, and just pull the ankle and the knee until you can. Oh no! Sorry, until you can feel a little stretch. Okay, I can't do this now. We're gonna have to start over. Okay, until you can feel a stretch in your hip. So let's pretend like we did that the right way on this side and it wasn't hysterically laughing. Okay, then we'll just switch. Other leg comes up. It's helpful if you flex the foot, then pull it in. Sitting up really tall. Okay, sorry. I'm sure I'm gonna have to do this over, but I'm just gonna keep going. So sitting up tall, that's something you can do that will help your hips even when you have to keep working. And the other good thing is to just, I was gonna ask my lovely assistant to come and get this chair, but I probably will not. Okay. It's not even funny and I'm still hysterical. Okay, so the other thing is you need to move around when, stop it. So moving around is so good. So if you can, every hour, pace about, just to get a little movement going. So the next thing for our hips is we'll just do a really slow classic sun salutation. So we're standing in mountain pose. We're pulling up our arches. We're feeling our kneecaps lift, tucking our tailbone under, core's engaged. Bring our shoulders up to our ears and let them drift back down our body. This is mountain pose and it's how we'll start. So we'll inhale, the arms come up over the head, palms touch. Exhale, hinge right here from the hips. Keeping the core engaged to protect the back, we'll just forward fold all the way down. If your knees need to be a little bent here, that's okay. Then we'll press into the shins or the thighs. Just bring our shoulder blades toward each other, gazing forward. And then we'll forward fold again, touching the ground or not. Wiggling your hips if that feels good. And then bending the knees as much as you need to. The hands come down. We're going to come back to and just let a knee come down. Then we'll just toe heel the other foot over to give ourselves a good wide base. Bring our arms up like a cactus. Inhale, look up. Exhale, stretch back. This is supporting the lower back. Everything's connected. Our arms come back up, hands come down. We'll just give ourselves a minute here in kind of a version of a runner's lunge. And maybe we'll curl our toe under and let this other knee, so it's my left knee, my right leg is back, drift out to the side. Maybe I can press on it and look up. So really, you can't even see what I'm doing. Looks like this. Just another little stretch. Okay, then we'll come back here where we were and we'll just switch legs. Other leg comes forward. making sure we have a wide enough base between this leg and this leg so we're not all tippy. We can lean forward a little bit if we like that. Arms come up like a cactus. Inhale, making sure the core is engaged. We can just stretch back. Take a little breath here. Hands come back down. We'll just explore that runner's lunge, stretching forward. Taking our time. If anything feels a little weird or sticky, we can just slow down and move there. And then hands will be on the inside. I'll stretch forward and maybe I'll press into my other leg and gaze up. Maybe this is good. Maybe this feels great on your hip, and that's great. And then we'll just come to hands and knees. I'm just skipping a lot of vinyasa stuff so that we'll only be 15 minutes or less. Hands are wide, knees are just right under the hips, fingers are spread wide, and cat and cow again is a spine exercise that really helps with the hip, this whole pelvic girdle area. So as we inhale, we'll look forward a little bit, not way up, not cranking the neck. Let the tailbone drift up. Our core is engaged tight. As we exhale, we'll tuck the tailbone under and just press back. This is the cat part. Forward, this is the cow part. So just on your own breath. Exhaling cat. Inhaling, tailbone comes up forward. Just do a couple more. You don't have to breathe when I breathe. And when you feel even, circle the hips a little bit, give them a little bit of a wag. Okay, then we're gonna just go ahead and lie down on our stomach. Okay, so everything's connected. Floor bow is really hard on the knees where we hold both our heels or our feet, but one leg at a time seems to work really well. So I will take my left arm and make it parallel with the top of my mat or just across the front of my body. And then I'll reach back and take hold below my toes. Now, sometimes I just can't reach my toes, and if that happens, I can hold my ankle, I can hold my heel, maybe I can't reach anything, and that's okay. I'll just stretch my hand back as if I were holding it, and I will bring my foot in as if I were holding it. But if I can, I'll just pull my heel a little closer toward my bum, and I'll put my head down on my arm, just my forehead. And I'll take a few breaths here. Maybe after a few breaths, I can bend my elbow and bring my heel a little closer, but I'm going to be so careful of my knee. And then we'll just switch sides. You don't have to turn around, I'm just doing it so you can see. So my right arm across the front, and I reach back. So on my left side, sometimes I can hardly reach my toes. And again, if I get my heel, if I get my ankle, if I just stretching back, that's just okay. And I'll inhale, get long, exhale, let my forehead rest right on my arm. Pulling my heel toward my hip. Maybe after a few breaths I can bend my elbow, maybe not. Okay, then coming to a seated pose, we'll just sit with our legs straight out. Our feet are flexed. Okay, so this is weird and slightly complicated. So good, such a good hip stretch. So I'm going to keep my right leg straight with my foot flexed. I'm going to bring my left foot up, so just holding it. The goal is tuck it right here in this crease. Well, that doesn't work for me. I can set it on top of my thigh. If that doesn't work for you, it could also be right here next to your thigh. But let's say it can come up here. Then, this is my left leg, so my left hand is going to reach around as if I were going to hold this toe with my left hand. Well, clearly I can't reach it, but it doesn't matter because I'm getting all the good of the stretch. Any of these poses, you get the good of it, your body gets it, whether you can look like an Instagram yogi or not. So I'll press that hand into my back. That helps me sit up even taller. I'm flexing both feet now. And I'm going to lift up this arm and just stretch it down. Now maybe I can reach my toe, maybe I can reach my shin, my knee, maybe I just hold my foot. But I can feel the stretch here in my hip. Pressing into my back reminds me to sit up tall. And if I love this, I can stay here. If not, I'll just let go of my hands, bring my foot now to the middle, right by my thigh. Inhale, sit up tall, and exhale, I'm just gonna fold forward. So maybe my forward fold is clear up here, and that's fine, because what I'm looking for is feeling the stretch. So it doesn't matter how far down you go. If this hurts your lower back, engage your core and come up a little bit. Just breathing here, maybe hand on the ground. And now my left shin is going to press into the ground. I'm going to put my hands on either side of my right foot. I'm just going to lift it up a little bit. I'm going to try to sit up tall and not lean back. And then I'll just put it back down. Time to switch. Left leg out, right leg bent, going for this crease or sitting on top of the thigh. Super normal for both sides to feel really different. So one side you might think, oh, this is not so bad, and the other side, you know, maybe your foot's like clear up and not good. Remember, you can always put your foot on the inside of the thigh. Okay, so we're sitting up, right leg is bent, so right arm comes around like it's gonna hold the toe. Pressing into the back, that helps me sit up really tall. I'll lift this hand, maybe I'll come down on my toes or my ankle or my shin, or I'll hold this other ankle. But I'm sitting up tall to keep my back straight, then maybe I'm leaning forward a little bit. I feel this right here in this hip, but you could feel it somewhere else. As everything with yoga, if you hate it, just don't do it. If there's pain, no. Being uncomfortable, yes. And then we'll release that, bring our foot to the inside of the thigh, sit up tall, and we'll just fold forward over the foot. So again, you're just holding something. Looking forward, feeling a different stretch. Everything's so connected, so this muscle here, this muscle here, the hips, the sides, everything goes together and so important. So then we'll just come back up, press this shin into the mat, and just lift the left leg, foot flexed, trying to sit up tall. Let it come back down. And one more thing, so we'll put our feet together like butterfly. Hand comes down to the mat. We'll just stretch over. moving into the obliques, everything connected, cores engaged. Go as small of a stretch as you want, or as deep a stretch as you want. And when you're ready, just close your knees like a book and roll on down to your mat. So usually you probably skip Shavasana because you're so busy, but this is going to be a 1-minute one. Shavasana is so important where your body absorbs all the good things you just did. So give yourself this time. Let your feet drift apart, shoulder blades tucked under, chin's lifted so your neck is long. Maybe the eyes drift closed, palms are up, releasing heat from the body. And you just breathe there. I'll do a tiny chant and the singing bowl, and we'll be done. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. That means greetings to the Most High God, just a little prayer. Letting the singing bowl's vibrations clear energy, clear space in your body and your mind. Slowly begin to wiggle fingers and toes. Taking your time, if you can, stay there as long as you'd like. Just have a nice rest. But if you're ready, make your way to any kind of seated position. Hands come to the heart. Thank you for practicing with me today. I would love to hear what felt good, what didn't work. Please let me know. I love you guys. Namaste.